The Spanish guy Gavar, and new TNT champion, and you, yes you, right now are listening to the
Bob Culture Podcast.
Bob Culture Podcast.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Nothing between the lines of the page or outside. Forgiveness is for angels, but this angel fell out of line. That's sin, no second chance or redemption can be found. 'Cause you can't run the devil and the devil is running you down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to a very special
Supernatural.
I can't believe I'm saying this. Ghostbusters edition of the BCP shameless promo. We did interview Ernie Hudson, just
Yes,
putting
we
that
did.
back
Yes,
out
we
there.
did.
But gentlemen, so happy to be sitting here at the BCP compound with you two. Of course, you know the co-host with the most, the best smelling human on the planet, Chris Nunez, and of course the Vac Attack is back. Jack, the man who coined the phrase BCP, Mr. Michael Vacchiano. Guys, forgive the pleasantries, but I want to get right into it. Let's talk about this. Let's be real. And guys, before we get into it, spoilers.
Yes.
Spoilers.
Spoilers alert.
Spoilers.
If you have not seen Ghostbusters Afterlife yet, and if you haven't, what's wrong with you? Just kidding.
Yeah.
But yes, do not proceed any further because we are going to talk about
Don't
the
cross
movie
the streams.
in
Yes,
depth.
don't cross
yes.
the spoiler streams, yeah.
Welcome to the Nerd Fest. But guys, let's be
Forgot
real.
my Ecto Cooler upstairs, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So.
We have Stay Puft Marshmallows, legit.
Okay, that's
Available
fair.
at Walmart, by
Yes.
the way,
Yeah.
guys. I went to 3 Walmarts to find them. I got you.
Nice.
But anyway, I digress, guys. Shameless promo. Let's be real. Again, spoilers. This movie was a love letter to Ghostbusters. It was a love letter to Harold Ramis.
Without a doubt.
At the end of it, it literally said for Harold.
Yeah.
My favorite. Although my favorite Ghostbuster always changes because I love them all so much. But Egon was always my favorite. But, you know, I always went back and forth. Loved Winston, Ray, Peter, all of them. I love them all. That being said, this was a love letter. This was total nostalgia.
Yeah, fan service. Yeah.
And I ate it up. And I
Yeah,
loved
I did too.
every second of it. We rented the theater. Before we get into all of the ins and outs of it, guys, sitting in the theater with you guys, we had to see it all together. We rented the theater. We had like 20 of our best friends. It was an amazing experience.
It actually
Maybe
was
not
really,
vibes.
really. It's the first time I've ever rented a theater.
Yeah,
I've been
I
a part
mean-
of
Shout
that,
out to
so.
Dan.
It was a lot of fun. You get 20 people together. I mean, this is a movie, obviously, like, we've all been waiting. I wouldn't just say like a year and a half for. We've been waiting maybe half our lives for.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
This is... it is very rare, like, besides the fact that, yes, we all get to be with our friends and our loved
Look at
ones.
that,
everything like
significant
that, but-
others. We had
Others.
parents.
Twinkies.
We had Twinkies. We had parents there.
Yes.
It was a really, really cool experience.
It's been a long time since you go. I've been to a theater. I'm a grown man now with kid and everything like that. I felt like a child, and it was
Yes,
just
yeah.
in the best way possible.
yeah.
So
You can see where we're coming from already. Love Ghostbusters. Mike and I used to slide down the Jeffrey Avenue street pole. This was last week. No, just kidding. We were little
Yes.
kids.
This was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. But love Ghostbusters. And again, I'm trying not to be biased here, but I thought it was a fantastic film. A lot of shot-for-shot remakes that we've seen. A lot of nostalgia. But I'll ask you guys this before we get into all that. Did it live up to the hype? I know you guys love the experience. What did you guys think about the actual movie? We'll start with Mike.
Listen, I loved it. I will say I loved it, and yes, I am totally biased, but I don't care. If you took all the stuff that wasn't Ghostbusters out of it, it was okay. It didn't. I mean, Paul Rudd. Yes, Paul Rudd's in it.
Didn't need Paul.
Didn't really need Paul
It's
Rudd.
one of the
great.
few
Didn't
movies
need it.
I can remember watching that I was like, Paul Rudd's not really needed here.
Yeah, he was
It
great.
was, he was good.
Yeah.
But I was just like, if he wasn't in it or if there was less of him, like he played such a minor character.
Yes, and it was.
It's fair.
Look, it was good to see him. Of course, he always had a couple
it's
good
always good to see
one-liners
the
and everything like
sexiest man
that.
alive.
It's true.
But
I
like
didn't
when,
say that. People said that.
oh no, it's like when you first heard he was going to be cast, and I'm like, yeah, I could see him as like
Yeah.
maybe like a Venkman, a newer version of a Venkman type.
Yeah, I thought he was
'cause-
going to be one of the newer Ghostbusters. I thought that's the direction they were going to.
But it was obviously the way they went about it was just perfect, and yeah, I mean, like I said, I love the movie so much, and
Can't Can't wait to watch it again.
I can't wait to watch it again. Go ahead, Nooners.
Let's throw it to the real sexiest man alive.
Oh,
Chris
stop
Nunez.
it! Stop it. I enjoyed it. Like we were talking about. I'm pretty biased when it comes to nostalgia and things like that. Especially Ghostbusters is in my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Yeah,
It's one of the few. It's one of the movies where I'd love to watch the characters do anything. It just so happened that they're doing something so cool, and that's hunting ghosts. But like the chemistry between Spangler, Venkman, and Ray, and later on Winston, you can't. That's not. It's so organic how they play off each other because they're also very opposites, but they all balance each other out. You got the intelligence of Egon, you got the grown child in Ray, and then you just got the really just dry humor of Venkman, and then you have
The swag of Winston.
the sex appeal, like he says in the movie.
He
But
looked fantastic,
yeah, he
bro.
did. But he's just looking for a job. That's all he was doing. He was just looking for a job, and he got sucked into this whole world of Ghostbusting. But the characters, it's and especially a quartet, like 4 people that were so different personalities. It's hard to do that, and it's hard to do it organically, and they pulled it off. So I've always been very biased with this, but I enjoyed it. The movie, yeah, it took a lot from the first Ghostbusters. It's canon for the second one as well. The name tag just keeps falling off. But I liked what they did with Harold Ramis. The CGI was great at the end. It was cool at the end when they all looked at each other. He didn't say anything. It spoke for itself. Words weren't needed in that scene.
Ding, ding,
so
ding. Very well said.
overall, I had a good feeling leaving it. I felt very happy leaving it. It definitely it fulfilled. I guess like I said, I just fulfilled that nostalgia bug. I know that's not for everybody, but
It was for all of us.
it was for all of us. Yeah.
For a franchise like this that technically lets it spans generations. Like
Yeah.
I know there's new Matrix coming out, and yes, Matrix is cool.
Which actually looks really good. by
It
the
does
way.
look, yeah, but not to get off topic here. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's from like maybe 15, 20 years ago. This movie's been around since
84.
84, which I was a young pup, and yes, my father. One of my first great movie experiences, my father took me to see number 2. I was 6 years old.
Nice.
And obviously number 2, and it's just the slime and it's the monsters, the Scolari brothers, and I didn't know they were making an appearance, but just everything, little moments like that, is Vigo and just everything like that.
You must love Vigo.
You mentioned your dad, like Dad came to the theater with us, which meant a lot to me.
Your father, yes.
Dad always. There was no ghost trap toy when I was a
No.
kid, so we had the blue proton packs.
Your dad,
And
yes.
he built a trap, and that's one of my favorite memories of having that with like a little pedal in the door.
And there was a dog, I remember, next door to you with like the fangs.
The
We
mean
used to
dog.
call it the Zool dog.
The mean dog, yeah.
Because we used to try to like zap it with our proton packs, and it just
I think at a certain point, every dog was the Zool dog.
Yeah, that's very fair.
it just shows
But-
how like this was.
We enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yes, we
could
enjoyed
go
it
on
very
and on,
much.
But let's keep it moving here. I do want to talk about this. And Nunez, perfect segue. You brought this up. You used the word organic. You talk about Egon a lot because, like we said, this was a love letter to Egon Spangler and Harold Ramis.
Rest in peace, Harold Ramis.
So I thought the way that they did this, I was talking to Mike about this the other day about Bill Murray not wanting to come back because he felt like it wasn't organic. He felt like it was.
He didn't want to do it if it was just for a money ploy.
Exactly. And
That's what it
also-
was, and this was not that.
Of course. But I always was kind of like, oh, just do it. But now when I see this movie, I'm just like, he was right, man. Like, this was a lot of heart. This was for their friend.
Yeah.
The 3 of us, like brothers, like 2 of my best friends in the world sitting with me. Like, I get it, man. You could tell. You see all the interviews that they're doing right now. The Seth Meyers one was great. We were watching some stuff last night.
Yeah.
Jonas and I. It's great. You see that chemistry. This was for their friend, and it was amazing. That opening scene, I want to start here. Did you guys immediately think that it was, spoiler, Harold Ramis? Did we think that it was Egon? Because I thought it was interesting. It was captivating, and it almost reminded me, I really liked the opening because it wasn't just super nostalgia. It was something new and fresh and dramatic, and the score, the music was perfect. They used a lot of the same music. We know that already. Mike, I know you can do all the little... Thank you. That's why he's here. That's perfect. But it was so good, and him being by himself and running away and having all this science stuff and the trap set up.
It was shot so well,
I
where it's like
loved it.
they got us obviously a stand-in, a physical stand-in, and it didn't show.
It wasn't like super cheese beginning, man.
So
No.
it actually was kind of serious, and I didn't know I didn't have any suspicions that it was Egon until obviously when you got to the house, the hair and the glasses and
When you
like
sit in the chair,
when
you
you
see
see
the
his
silk.
profile,
Yeah.
like you could totally tell it's Egon.
Yes.
I wasn't
We were
sure.
guessing that
Yeah,
as well.
I wasn't sure where they were going with that opening scene, but he kind of sat in the chair like Dana did before she got possessed, and he sacrificed himself in order to not be possessed, and kind of dropped the what is the reader? What is that called?
PKE meter.
Yeah, the PKE meter. Yeah.
That's it, man. Yeah, it was crazy to see that, and that was such a captivating opening.
Oh, the
I think it's-
Shandor mine. I did pop for that.
I think it's one of my favorite openings, but also like in a way, it kind of reminded me of how we always watch Endgame. How like Endgame started with, Hawkeye shooting the arrow with his daughter, and everyone just kind of disintegrates in that instant drama. That's one of my favorite movie openings ever.
Yes.
I've only seen it once. It's kind of biased, but I really like this beginning, and I'm like, oh, there's a story here, and Egon's a big part of this story, and I can't wait to see where the other Ghostbusters are, and these new characters are fun too. I'm like, did you want to say anything about the beginning with Egon real quick?
No, just like I said, it was shot well. It knew they were setting it up. It's like, okay, he's on a mission. Obviously, we don't see anybody else around him. It set up the movie so well, and you already knew you were going to see something special. And, I'm just...
Great.
Exactly.
And it's pretty cool that since he couldn't be there physically, that they essentially just based the movie around him.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
almost like he was there the whole time.
Yeah,
It's a love letter.
Credit to Jason Reitman, director, son of the original director Ivan Reitman, did one too.
And
Doing
I think
this.
Dan Aykroyd helped write this movie. If I'm
Oh, of
And
course.
Harold Ramis.
Yes.
He's credited as one of the writers for this. Yeah.
Yes,
He's
and
a-
I know they did it with Harold Ramis' family and gave him they gave him they gave his family updated drafts of every script.
Yeah, I read a quote that his
know.
his daughter put out there, and it was a really sweet quote.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. But we can do nostalgia all day. We'll get back
Yeah.
to that a little bit. Let's take a look at it because I'm very interested to see like what my students say about it because they're looking at
interesting,
it
yeah.
from even with like the new Space Jam. That's a bad example, but even with like the new Space Jam and stuff, I want to see like how they see it. Because we look at it through this nostalgia viewpoint, and I'm trying not to be biased, which we clearly are here. But
Slime covered
these-
glasses. That's what we're looking
Oh,
through.
man,
That's,
that's
you
right.
know.
But these kids coming in, obviously you have the one guy from Stranger Things. Phoebe was the lead.
Yeah.
Show stealer.
Yeah, she was
Fantastic.
very, very good.
Fantastic. Perfect granddaughter of Egon, gave us the nostalgia, but also was fresh on her own. I thought it was such a good viewpoint to bring in younger audiences to see these kids kind of have, you get that little bit of that Goonies vibe. You get a little bit of that new class vibe, which they've been hinting at for years and years and years. I think at one point they wanted to have like a Farley be a Ghostbuster and all this stuff that happened over the years. So they were definitely going to go with
Oh,
the new
wow.
class.
I didn't hear that one,
this was
yeah.
a year- I mean, this
Oh,
was a
I didn't
year
know about that either.
long.
You're
Yeah.
talking like mid to late
Ghostbusters
90s?
3,
or-
Ghostbusters 3's rumors were going on forever, but I digress. But looking at it, podcast, which Adam is calling me now, I'm not happy about that.
Which is basically you and I combined.
Yeah. That's
Yes.
it.
Well,
That-
besides that boom mic.
Yeah, and Lucky. So I thought they were all great. I popped again for like the jump seat. I could go on and on. But what did you guys think about them going through this approach? Obviously Stranger Things being very popular now, and just anytime these kids found something like an ecto or a trap, nostalgia pops for us. But just in terms of these new characters, did it work for you guys, Nooner?
Yeah, mainly it was the granddaughter, Phoebe. She definitely, because Finn Wolfhard's character, the dynamic when you're younger and you have an older brother and older sister, you're kind of mean to each other. So they have that dynamic. And this movie's very relatable, too, as far as, family issues and the fact that the mom, she's going through hard times. Obviously, with the pandemic, a lot of people went through hard times. And, with Egon not being there for her, and then her having kids, and then her struggling, it was very relatable. It kind of puts you in their shoes, like, oh man, what would you do? And with I do like Paul Rudd's character, he's almost like a fish out of water with what is his job title? He's a teacher, but what's the
Seismologist?
seismologist? Yeah.
Seismologist.
And the fact that Phoebe's just able to pick up on that, she's smarter than probably 90% of the population, because I half the time I had no idea what she was talking about.
When she told the joke and did the wink.
Yes,
He was like, "Was that a joke?"
like-
Wow.
Yes,
like,
yes.
very
She's like,
endearing,
yes, it was.
But yeah, the minor characters helped push it through, but Phoebe, like you said, definitely stole the show. Like I fell in love with her instantly. She was, with her intelligence and how much she's like her grandfather, and it's almost like the mom resented her because she looked like Egon, and she also like was, the intelligence was very was much there. It's like, oh, that's my dad's that's my dad's granddaughter. So
I don't. Maybe I don't know if it would be like much resentment. The fact
yeah,
that
not necessarily.
maybe she wasn't like
resentment,
connecting. You know, like the
Yeah.
sense that Phoebe like marched to the beat of her own drum, which we all thought was so great. You know, obviously scientific mind saying I don't believe in ghosts, but I believe in what I see. So obviously when things were going on, she's like, okay, I'm seeing it, so I'm gonna embrace it. So I'm gonna let it go. And just like her and podcasts with that whole like. Obviously, they're little younger kids. That whole like
Yeah.
imagination, the inquisitive mind. Like, oh wow, I'm really like
Honestly, that's the part of life I miss the most. When you're younger and you have this
That
huge
wonder,
imagination,
yeah.
life hasn't really hit you yet. You haven't gone through a lot that much yet. So you have this wide like imagination where you think anything is possible. I do miss that aspect. So it kind of brought you back there a little bit.
Yeah, she
well
was great. Yeah, she was great. I know she's what's her name, McKenna Grace. Very
Which, by the way, when we were watching the interviews, I didn't even realize it was her. She looks so different.
Way different, yeah.
Yeah, she has long blonde hair.
now she's like 15 or 16 now.
Yeah,
In the
yeah,
movie,
yeah.
she's 12. But
Yeah, yeah.
because
Oh,
obviously
wow.
they filmed it, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah,
It was
something like that, yeah.
Supposed to be out in July of last summer, and then I guess I know the answer here. Was it worth the wait, guys? Was it worth the wait?
Oh yeah.
Me, I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
We all got to see it together. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
I wasn't
And
sure how it
like
was gonna go down.
Rob mentioned before, it's hard not to be biased because of the experience we had and like how we're so nostalgic for Ghostbusters and the fact that we got to see with our families, significant others, and parents. It's tough to differentiate it, but overall, like, we enjoyed the movie. So
This was not a stream at home movie. For
Yeah,
us.
it's-
This
it-
And
was-
if it was available, we'd be watching it.
yeah,
right
we'd be
now.
watching it
right now,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
the second and through infinite number of times.
Yeah.
But the first time, we had to go in the theater to do it. And-
Yeah.
But getting back to it, yes, Finn Wolfhard, we know Stranger Things. We know what he can do. We
Can't wait for
obviously-
season 4.
Can't wait for season 4. We'll be back for that review, and hopefully,
Yeah.
later on. But yes, McKenna Grace, aka Phoebe, she stole the show. She got all those mannerisms down of Egon, that deadpan. Like, I always think of Egon like, I'm sorry, Vinkman, I'm too paranoid beyond rational thought. And just having no emotion whatsoever.
Or
Phoebe's
I was I stopped you from drilling a hole in your head, and it would have worked if you didn't stop me.
Oh man, we could quote the old ones all day. But you like the new characters, like?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it was great. It worked. I think they covered all their bases, obviously hitting us with the nostalgia. I mean, anytime I hear that siren from that, I get chills, man. That should be my ringtone or my text sound or whatever it is. It was so great. I do want to talk about this, obviously. Big moments at the end. We're jumping all over the place here, but we finally see our guys suited up. Actually, before we get to that,
Okay.
because the three of us have been
Don't
talking
go jump
about
too
this
far, yes.
individually. The scene where she calls from jail and talks to Ray,
Mm-hmm.
and Ray says,
This was the scene. There was where I was like, Egon Spengler can go to hell. And I used to my jaw dropped. I was thinking, I'm like, Egon, I'm like, Ray, how could you say that? Like,
Yeah.
but it also tells a story, man.
That
Yeah.
So like I was telling Rob before, it's one of the problems I had. Well, at the end, you realize why he was doing what he was doing, and he kind of redeemed himself. But like, I didn't like how Egon was, because I feel like he was very dry humor, intelligent, but I feel like he wouldn't do that as far as like abandon his family or like abandon his friends, because the way Ray described it, he took the ecto,
Cleaned them
he
out.
took the jumpsuits, he cleared them out, he left them, didn't say a word, just like went off and did his own thing. And in my head, I'm like, that's not Egon. But then later on, when you see why he did it and the reasons why he did it, it still, it doesn't really justify it, but you get why he did it. And at the end of the day, it seems like everybody forgave him at the end, and because they got to see
Ray
him too as well.
apologized to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like,
I'm
I'm
sorry I
sorry,
didn't believe
I'm
you.
sorry I didn't believe you. So, I I could see that. It's just initially I'm like, oh man, I really hate that they're portraying Egon like that. Like that's not, that's not in his character.
I think we were supposed to hate it.
Yeah,
Like,
which
I
sucks.
not
Yeah.
understand. But like even the little things with like the pit and all the ghosts coming out of that.
Yeah.
And then like those, you just see like the proton streams hitting. And you're like, who's doing? Like, are the Ghostbusters here? Like, what's going on? Like, who's doing that? And
Yeah.
you see he has it rigged. I'm like, freaking Egon, man. Like,
Yeah.
He's
like, that's my
he's
guy.
saving not only like was it the Oklahoma town, he's saving the whole
saving the
world.
world.
But
He's
I
keeping
love-
him at bay.
I love like the little things like that. There's like Egon was here. Like I love like the 4D chess, like we always say. Like he's always like
Yeah.
3 steps ahead, and I think that was really really interesting. Mike, your thoughts?
It's just like, like I know like you said, oh, you're supposed to hate Egon. I know you understand why Ray's like, he cleaned us out, but maybe he just wanted to shoulder the burden of doing that. He didn't want to rely on his friends. He
Save the
obviously
world.
didn't want to keep his daughter. What's her? Why am I drawing a blank here? What was the mom's name?
Mrs. Spang.
Mrs.
I'm gonna say
Spangler.
Miss Spangler.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Actress
I
Carrie
apologize.
Coon, who has also been very good. I liked her very much in Gone Girl,
She
which
was
was
one of
fantastic.
Thanos' cronies in Endgame. We just found that out.
Yeah, we
Yes,
just found that
is
out.
true.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
also in The Leftovers and a lot of other like the TV series but yeah, you get why Egon was doing that, and of course, it had to get to the end for everybody to realize what he did, and for them to to reconcile before he. We'll get to that part, but yes, I mean, sorry,
It was emotional.
It was
It
emotional.
was emotional, but I like that it wasn't like clear cut. Like I love the drama at the beginning. I love that we had to understand, and we could just like again, and we're fast forwarding here, but I think this is in line with what we're saying here. The 4 of them next to each other, Egon not saying a word like you guys mentioned, and just all of them there going against Zool like all times, and each one of them says something to Egon. Which is really, really amazing. And again, it's the nostalgia and the emotion. But more so, I like the part where she's blasting Gozer, I believe it is. And then you're just like, all right, well, why is this more powerful or why is this more effective when Gozer had just essentially uncrossed the streams, which was clever.
I love that they went
Which
with
was
remembered.
wild. I was like, oh, they're doing
Clever.
this.
I do like the fact that when are we gonna go right to the end then? I guess we're gonna. All right, when Peter, Ray, and Winston show up at the end, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna stop. We're back. We're stopping Gozer again. We know what to do. We've done this before. Cross the streams. Guess what? Gozer's smartened up. She ain't putting up with that no more. She knows now. It's like your uppercut's not gonna work. So
And Ray gets his verbiage in, and then
Yeah.
Peter cracks the joke. Like, again, it's
they
fan
do
service,
it.
but it's
Aim
what
for
you
the
want.
flat top. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Winston's too cool for school.
Yeah.
Like, I love them all so much. But again, when she's blasting them and you're like, what's different here? Like, why is this more effective? And then you just see Egon there, like, with his great
my favorite
daughter.
shot of the whole
Oh,
film when
yeah.
she's holding her proton pack, Phoebe is, and all of a sudden you see the ghost hand like helping like guide her, and the camera pans up and she's looking up and she sees the ghost of her grandfather, Egon Spengler, just there helping her.
Hashtag man tears.
That was yeah.
That was the heart and soul of the movie.
That
Now-
was yeah.
Now, not to bring it around, but like when she uncrossed the streams for a second, I was like, "There's no way that they're killing the Ghostbusters right now." Like, I really
did that go through your mind?
a split second because
No.
when she uncrossed the streams, I was like, "Well, if that doesn't work, what's gonna work?
Yeah.
What else do they have?" And I was like, "This is not happening right now. I can't handle this. Like any of them. Like I could a split second, but then once it all came around, I was like, oh, okay, they're not gonna do that." But
All of the traps.
Yeah.
That was
All the traps and like the little cornfield like set up like bzzz, like he had the plan, he just didn't wasn't able to execute, but now
yeah,
with his granddaughter, his grandson, their friends, and his friends, and everybody there, and yeah. But yes, the man tears were.
It was amazing. The emotions were there. Like I keep saying, it's a love letter. All the Egon stuff I loved, even the dramatic stuff, the confusion. Like, why would he do this? Why would he, just leave everybody, clean everyone out? And I'm glad it came full circle. And it was essentially to save the world. Yeah, go ahead.
and the last part, they saved not necessarily the best, but like the one that had the problem with him the most was his daughter.
Yeah.
It was the last thing before he faded away was he hugged his daughter.
That needed to be
Yes.
He hugged his
Well
daughter,
said, yeah.
and then he faded away. And that was like the last. That's like the last loop that he needed to take care of before everything.
Like he obviously he acknowledged his friends while they
Yes.
were fighting. He and his grandkids, and of course his daughter, which is the most important thing, 'cause that was the most strained in her relationship. And luckily, his daughter knew. She saw the pictures of herself growing
Yeah.
up that he saw in his laboratory before she became possessed, and I'm glad she got to see that, so that when Egon's ghost was there need to be a lot of like dialogue, and thank God, like I'm glad they didn't get anybody to dub Harold Ramis's voice.
I was about
Yeah,
to say it was
a tough
perfect the way
call,
they
but
did it as far
it was
as
good.
no words needed to be said. Like
Yeah.
that moment speaks for itself. All the Ghostbusters, that's what everybody's been waiting for. That's the price of admission. That's what everybody's been waiting for. Everybody's been waiting for all 4 of the original Ghostbusters to be together, whether they're a ghost, whether they're alive, whether they're dead. You wanted to see all 4 of them in a row doing what they do best, and that's bust ghosts. And that's what everybody wanted to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like King Kong and Godzilla. At the end of the day, you're waiting for them to fight each other. With this one, you're waiting for all 4 of them to get there.
Yeah, and they did a good job because they all talked to him, and like,
Yes.
the family talked to him later. But it was like, is he gonna talk, or are they gonna do the Silent Bob thing where when he speaks, it's gonna be big, and they're gonna pick a spot, and he didn't. I think that was the right call.
That was the right call,
It
I
almost
think.
took me back to that it wasn't too long after Carrie Fisher had passed, the Princess of Alderaan, and the end of Rogue One. Vader goes through everybody and the plans and all that stuff.
So
and then
badass.
You just
Still the
see-
best new Star Wars movie. I'm saying it now, but
And
anyway.
then you just see Carrie Fisher there, like, and they had done the CGI or whatever. And just like, what? Like, it was the young Carrie Fisher, and like it kind of reminded me of that, where we had seen an advanced age Egon Spangler, which was very well done.
got the
Yeah.
As well, the
scruff
scruff.
go-
I thought
yeah.
it was very well done. It was just cool seeing him like that.
Oh, and we didn't even mention the Janine cameo
Aw.
where that she took care of like all his. I
she
like
was
how
kind of disgusted with him too.
I like how they interweaved everybody, like with Janine taking care of his bills, and did you guys get the hint that like Janine's the mom?
Mike was kind of saying that.
I kind of got that hint because she would always
Well, wouldn't the mom-
flirt with him, like, "Oh, what do you do for fun?" Well, I collect spores, fungus, and molds. So
Yes.
And then that whole scene at the end they showed with the
and then you find out that with Winston's newfound, I guess, like fortune, he's been paying for the Ghostbuster firehouse all along to upkeep it. He's been paying for Ray's bookstore, and he's like, it's gonna turn a profit one day.
Yeah.
It sucks that Ray was misinformed because he said they turned it into a Starbucks. He probably just was told that. He probably didn't even realize that it was still.
That's
up
what
yet.
that's what I'm probably thinking, just to like let him know. Cause,
Yeah.
And then of course it's assumed he's probably going to be helping Egon's family financially because of course.
Yeah, and I think that's where, because the second post credit scene after that genius first credit scene with Sigourney Weaver with Dana making a cameo, which was fantastic, with the card game, that was really cool.
I love that she's still calling Peter on his bullshit and everything. Like, even
As
that
she should.
Like, just love thing to like go back and watch them, like Dana and Peter when they're back with the flirting, the first one and the second one, just how like. He's into her because she's too smart to fall for any of his lame pickups, and
like she says, he's a game show host,
and she's so straight laced, and and she's so straight laced, and they're still doing it. She's like, "You marked the cards, and you did this to pick up grad students." She's like, yes, I did. And just like,
But I love all the little things you mentioned. Nunez, you mentioned just seeing him as the ghost and stuff. And I remember when Harold Ramis had passed away, we would see all these artists and fans come up with like these drawings and things. I remember one specifically where the 3 Ghostbusters, instead of a 21-gun salute, they're doing the shooting the proton streams in the air.
that was awesome.
I remember the one that gets me every time, man, is like the 3 of them. And it's a ghost Egon, and they're essentially putting him in the trap, and he's just kind of.
Oh, that one's cool, yeah.
That one gets me, man. But this kind of.
No one puts Egon in the trap.
This kind
Sorry.
This one kind of. It brought a lot of like the fan lore and the fan art and the fan theories and the TV show, the cartoon, into it, of all these things that we wanted. You remember the toy had the gunner seat. This brought us the gunner seat. We saw things that we weren't sure, like really cool, the trap on the remote control, little things like that. That was super fun. The new ghost they had, and I thanks for not stealing my thunder here, but Mike and I were talking about this after the movie. They made, I was also seeing Revenge of the Ghostbusters. That's another story, but I digress. Nunez has to see that one day.
Yes.
But the character was it Bug-Eye or Bug-Eye? Bug-Eye. It was the purple monster with the eyeball that came out, and you see him flying around in this movie when all the ghosts are flying around town. I'm like, that they made him in the movie canon because he was in real Ghostbusters, and I had the toy of him, and I always put him on top of the firehouse.
They spanned like every every
popsicle.
formation. The first 2 movies there were references, obviously, the cartoon series, the figures.
I think the only thing they didn't connect was the video game in 2009 because that had some lore to
which
it.
some people said would be like the unofficial third one, which I mean,
It kind of was. I want to
had
play through. Did you guys play that or no?
it was a
I
it was
beat it.
I didn't get a chance to play through it.
it
I
was a
want
really
to.
nice like. You said because I know you, Nooner. Your collection of video games based off shows and movies that are really awful. This was one, the Ghostbusters game from was it 2000?
I think it was 2009, 10 or
2009.
11. I forget.
Was a
one
really
of those.
solid game. Like
Yeah.
it's the closest you're gonna get to playing the Ghostbusters, at least virtually.
It
that
was
Yeah.
way.
more of like not a telltale because like it was fun busting and stuff, but like you're going around and it's all the voice actors and you're the trainee.
And
you're
it was
around the
written-
firehouse.
it was
It's like,
written-
This is how you put it.
Yeah, it
in
was written by
actor.
Harold Ramis.
It was written by Hal Ramis and Dan Aykroyd, yes,
is great,
because it was
but
like almost like an unofficial script for the
The bad
for the
thing
third
was
movie.
it was very like when you're going around the hotel, like trying to find the ghost or whatever. Like it was a lot of like running around the hotel and getting lost, and then there were a lot of levels like that. Except you're running around the streets of New York getting lost. So that was like the one drawback. But it was a really fun game in terms of just having the voice actors or following them around or being in the Ecto. I think Stay Puft pops up at one point. So a lot of nostalgia here. A lot of shot-for-shot remakes when they go down the coal mine. In this one, it reminded me of when they went down into the street. When they turn on the proton pack.
Oh, when they get the slime sample in the river.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like lot of shot. There's so many I can think of. I think when they showed the Ecto, we were watching something. They said they showed the license plate like they do in the first one. I must have missed that because that's one of my favorite. I used to go back and watch the "We Got One."
Yeah.
About
Oh,
over and
so
over.
good.
As a guy would rewind to it. The car comes through. Yeah. The car comes through. All that stuff.
Cleaning up the town.
Yeah, there it is. This is why you're here. What are some other things you guys? It doesn't have to be Easter eggs. But what are some other things you guys noticed that reminded you of the old movies or some of the lore?
One of the only things I really wish they got Rick Moranis to come back.
Yeah.
I
That's
really
my.
wish they
If
got
there's any
Tully.
complaint,
Let
and
me in.
that was my only complaint, but obviously Rick Moranis, for his reasons, is not doing show business anymore, and I respect that, but I wish there was some way we could have coaxed him out just for like a little.
I know,
bit,
just
you
for a
know,
little
just for
cameo,
one
that would have been
thing.
great. Like him trying to give Dana that water or whatever that he promised to in the first movie, or something like that.
Even if it was like a goofy, nerdy hookup with Janine at
Yeah.
the end or something,
I would have, even though everybody hates him, I would have liked the Walter Peck cameo. Just like when they bring the Ecto back into the firehouse at the end, like I wish he would have came in like that's not allowed in here, whatever, something like that.
Walter Peck.
Yeah.
Slimer for me.
Yes,
That was a big one,
Slimer.
the
But
movie.
what was the name of the new ghost?
Muncher.
Muncher, yeah.
And I think
He-
Slimer wasn't in it because he was like the new Slimer. And
Yeah.
it was good. I was okay with it. It was good. I miss Slimer. When all the ghosts were going around, I'm like, where's Slimer going to pop up? Or da-da-da. Yeah, he's hanging out here.
He's eating me because this is my name tag.
But I get it.
But we had an army of baby Stay Puffs, adorable baby,
I thought that was smart.
evil, creepy,
Yeah.
weirdo Stay Puffs with them.
And if there is one, I'm buying one for Joanna.
Yeah,
so.
that's the money, man.
Yeah.
Baby Groot.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda. As soon as I saw the commercial with Baby Stay Puft, I'm like, this is brilliant.
Yeah. Even the new ghost. You said Muncher.
Muncher.
Yeah. Oh God, that if they make a toy of that or a stuffed toy of that, everybody's gonna
They
buy
made
that.
toys.
What was
They
the
made
one?
toys of the new
What
cat.
was the Rise of Skywalker? The little like Furby looking thing. What was it? Like,
Porg.
Porgs.
Porgs. Yeah,
The
there you go.
porgs.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
Cutesy will
Just make
sell.
something cute.
Cutesy sells. That's what it is.
No, Baby
pretty much
Yoda outshined the Porgs by it. Baby
Yeah.
Yoda was in the Thanksgiving Day parade, yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I
Look
did
at
hear that.
Our new Star Wars overlord. But,
Giving of thanks.
but yeah, and they also made, like, I have these figures. Nunez got me one. Which one did you get me first? Was it Egon?
Had to be Egon, brother.
My God, dude, you're the guy, but I have Egon right here. They made all these guys with
And
like
of
the
course,
gray
I
hair.
started
Oh,
it, so
PK,
you were like, man,
did
I
get
gotta
it.
get all of them,
And I did.
and you
Man,
did.
you did. Well, how do you just get one Ghostbuster?
That's it, man.
You can't.
Yeah.
And I
Can't.
dude, I love these. They're awesome. But they made them all with the gray hair. They made all the kids new toys. So I'm hoping the younger generation appreciates it the same way we did. Anything else you guys want to touch on that we didn't touch on? Anything you guys want to bring up? Certain characters, certain angles.
Where do you think they go with this? If they do make a potential sequel, which it looks like they've definitely opened the door to it.
Yeah.
Where do you think they go? Because I was already nervous about this one.
Yeah.
And this one was good, very good. I'm just nervous about this next one because it's kind of like there's no reason to bring Egon back. You did all that in this movie.
It was closure. You shouldn't touch on it anymore.
But that's what I'm saying. And then the original Ghostbusters is kind of like, is there a need to bring them back? Because it's like, what do you focus on in this new one? That's the only thing I worry about if they were to potentially do a sequel to
I
this.
can't believe I'm saying this. Don't do it.
Okay, that's
and
fair.
I said that with Stranger Things.
That's
After
fair,
Stranger
though.
Things season 1 came out, I was like, don't make another one. It's perfect. And seasons 2 and 3 were amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, that's and
Really
that's
good.
fair. But this is off an intellectual property that like is like very like
Sacred.
worldwide, like just very sacred. It's one of those things. And the 2016 movie didn't deserve all the hate it got. It's just one of those things where like you said, the Ghostbusters are very, very sacred, and it's like Jaws, it's like Back to the Future. Don't remake it, just don't touch it. If you're not gonna have the original creators and the actors involved in it in their original forms and characters, it's like just don't touch it. Like there's no need for it.
Yeah. I think you said that perfectly. This movie was about family in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And a lot,
It's about heartache. It's about real life stuff.
even, like we talk about Ivan Reitman, Jason Reitman, like even family behind
Yeah,
the
his son,
scenes,
yeah,
man.
which
like,
is
Totally.
like you
great.
said, like they grew up around it. You
Yeah.
know? So it makes
Yeah.
so
Jason
much sense.
Reitman, for a little trivia for you guys at home, he's in Ghostbusters 2. He's the kid who tells Ray, "My dad said you guys are full of crap."
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
He-Man.
He-Man.
What
But
are you gonna call it?
this was like, as our good brother Matthew Witt has said, and if you grew up on the first one or original movies and you don't like this new one, you probably don't have a soul. A little harsh, but
He did say that.
I mean,
yeah.
but at the same time, like we've said multiple
how can
times,
you not?
like we've said multiple times during this podcast, like we're biased. I'm not even.
if there's
it's
comments
it's
going,
hard.
these
It's hard.
guys love Ghostbusters, they're being biased, I'd be like, yes.
All right, that's fine. We own up to it.
Yes.
We've in addition to the spoiler alert, we did tell you we are biased. We love the Ghostbusters. It's going to be hard for any of us to be like, hey, we hate this. We'll criticize things here and there, but overall, at the end of the day, we enjoyed the movie.
This
And-
might not even be my favorite movie of 2021, but it was my favorite movie watching experience of
Yeah, that's fair, yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
Just the excitement of going in. Yes, I got Twinkies for everybody who came because
was an amazing
it's a tribute
idea.
to the men. And yes, there is a cameo in the movie in this glove box. God bless you, Egon.
You
And
also
just-
had the Crunch Wrapper. I don't know if you saw that.
The Crunch Wrapper.
that,
Apparently,
that he earned.
somebody said
You
that
earned
there
it.
was also the box of Cheez-Its in there in his kitchen. I didn't notice it, but I'll be definitely looking to look at it for the next time. God, it's just
Yeah,
so
when we
much-
watch again, we're gonna notice so much more. I noticed the book stack. I'm trying to think.
The book
There's so many
stacked.
little things, just like the shot for shots, remakes and stuff. But again, it was new and fun on its own. But again, they hit all the nostalgia spots in so many ways, and I'm just hoping a younger audience enjoys it. I can't wait to hear
If
what
I
the younger
if I may
generation
touch, just said if
Yes,
you're
of
going to make
course.
another one, if they don't, totally fine with it because this
Yeah,
was
you
great
know what?
closure.
Yeah, that's why I'm very. I was hesitant about this one, and I'm just if they do a sequel, I'm wondering what direction they go in.
Well, I would imagine the 4 kids who would be grown up in time, they would probably go to
Mm-hmm.
New York or operate out of New York 'cause if they're going to be funded by Winston with the firehouse and all that. I'm about it. And if they don't, okay, I'm good with that too. But
And you were saying like you wonder how your kids, the kids that you teach, like would react to this movie. Have you talked about the original one? Like, what is their opinions on the
So
original one?
They know, like, because every Halloween we play Ghostbusters. Like,
Oh.
on the drums, we play
Oh,
Ghostbusters.
okay.
So they know it.
I was
They
like, I hope
come in,
not the
let's play
NES
Ghost-
game. I was like, no, don't put them through that.
No,
Don't
we
put them
play it
through
on the
that.
drums, and they know, like, let's play Ghostbusters. Like, what do you want to start with? Let's play Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's still a big thing, even just from the song alone, with like no
Mm-hmm.
other context or stuff. But the kids know it. Like the kids know
Oh, good.
Ghostbusters, which is crazy to me, and it's smart to reboot it. Like we've seen Extreme Ghostbusters. That was a television show they rebooted. And in fact, I think Egon, an older Egon, was in that.
So what was it? It
Yes.
was the cartoon. It was the real Ghostbusters, and then what was it the real Ghostbusters with Slimer, right?
And Slimer too. That's right.
They
Yeah,
changed
so
it
was
to
a little
with
different.
Slimer, like he would go through the logo, and then he would
Yeah.
like.
they would do like the Slimer cartoon,
and then it was
like
the Extreme
cute-
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so much.
I forgot there was like an older Egon with like a younger generation. Or it's like a couple.
Oh,
Yeah.
I must have missed that one. I knew about it, but
Yeah. Oh man.
Those
I feel like I'll be
I think
watching it.
arrived at the time when I started like stopped watching cartoons and I was like starting to like
Never
but
stopped.
yeah, you know what
yeah,
I
me
mean.
neither.
You
yeah.
know,
we were
it's-
actually watching the old X-Men cartoon today, and it still holds up.
well, yes, Batman the animated series is like
Yes.
my all time with no question. But
Oh, that's a good one too.
Hey, you know-
we digress.
Ah.
But
know.
guys, it is the season of giving. No,
The Witch.
season of giving.
Oh.
For you guys, you got to fight over who gets what. But we have Stave Puft marshmallows for you guys.
aw,
Happy up. My new stuff is gonna fall. Merry early Christmas to you guys.
Oh,
$10 each.
the small ones.
You want to go to the minis?
Yeah, you guys can fight over them. But yeah, anything else you guys want to touch on before we get out of here?
Just
Out
go.
of 10. Out of 10, what'd you give it? 8.7. 8.7 for me.
8.7. Okay.
Yeah, I really liked it.
I'm gonna say 7. 'Cause
7 out of 10, really?
yeah, because the
I feel like you're a little more down on it now that you've watched some of the...
not more down. It's just I have the original Ghostbusters way up.
Oh gosh.
So
that's
if
fair,
I
yeah.
if I have the
That's a good argument.
the first Ghostbusters is like a 9.5
Oh gosh.
for me. Like
my
it's literally I actually feel like watching it right now. But like it's really it's just so the writing is great. Just I love the characters. Like it's hard not to get sucked into it when it comes on. So we'll go 6.5.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Wow.
I
really?
expect a
That's-
little
I was
more,
expecting
man.
higher.
I was-
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Mike, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go quite that low. I'm not gonna like, oh my god, it's the best, because
It's hard to find the medium.
it is
Yeah.
hard to find the medium. Like I said, this was one of the best movie going experiences I've had in a long time with everybody and just excited.
It's hard to take away the bias.
The
Yeah.
musical cues and the song cues and the angles and it's everything. But
Yeah.
for that, I'm still gonna be objective here. I'm gonna give it a solid 7, maybe 7.2.
7.2. All right, we're all over the map on this one, but more importantly, we enjoyed it, guys.
What was yours?
I give it 8.7. Right?
8.7,
8.7,
wow,
yeah,
8.7.
very high. I enjoyed it, man. Been waiting a long time.
Okay.
Again, the experience played into it. All you guys
Yeah.
were there. Dad was there. It was awesome. There were Twinkies. That definitely tipped this.
I wish we got a better picture at the end, but that's another story.
Yo, that's another. But
The one
guys,
picture that did not end up on your social media, man.
Yeah. But
It's fine.
That's saying something.
But guys, thank you so much for making the time. We are in talks with the big guy up in the North Pole. I've been talking to him a little bit. We will have him this December. St. Nick, Santa Claus will be coming on. We're going to find out which wrestlers are good this year and which wrestlers were
Spoiler,
bad.
they're all bad.
Yeah, but we'll see. But excited to have Santa on the show. And guys, you ready to get out of here?
Yes.
Bust some ghosts.
Let's do it. And like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out. Peace. We're ready to believe.